We okay?
Everyone believes the fairy tale of Hansel and Gretel. Two innocent little children, lost and helpless in a deep, dark forest, captured by a cruel, child-eating witch. But what if that story was never the truth? What if everything we were told was a carefully crafted lie? And what if the real monsters were never the witch at all, but the very people who were supposed to love them, protect them, and keep them safe? What you are about to hear will change the way you see this story forever.
We have to!
This
The only way.
is the real Hansel and Gretel. Hansel and Gretel were not lost by accident. They were abandoned. Their parents were desperately poor. Food was disappearing day by day.
Nothing left, not even a handful.
I knew it. We've run out of everything. I tried.
The market had nothing.
What about the children? We have nothing.
Every night, their parents sat in silence by the dying fire, asking the same painful question.
How do we feed 4 mouths when we can barely feed 2?
There is nothing left. Nothing at all.
Yes.
But instead of finding a way, they made a choice. A cold, selfish, and unforgivable choice.
We'll do it.
They led their children deep into the forest and left them there. Hansel tried to stay strong. He dropped small white stones along the path, shining under the moonlight, and the children found their way back. But the parents tried again. This time, there was no escape. No stones, only breadcrumbs. And the birds took them away. Slowly, the truth became clear. They were not lost. They were thrown away like garbage, and they had no way back. But that was only the beginning. The forest was not silent. It was alive, watching every step they took. The deeper they went, the darker it became. Twigs snapped like breaking bones beneath their feet. Branches clawed at their clothes like skeletal fingers. Hunger took control of their bodies. Their legs trembled. Their voices faded into weak whispers. Gretel held Hansel's hand tighter with every step. Hansel kept repeating the same words through chattering teeth. "We will be okay." But even he stopped believing it. Then, suddenly, something changed. A strange, sweet smell filled the cold night air. Warm sugar, soft bread, a smell that did not belong in a place like this. And then they saw it. A house made entirely of sweets. Walls of thick gingerbread. Windows of clear sugar panes, a roof shining like candy under the moonlight. They did not think, they did not question, they ran. Hansel broke off a piece and stuffed it into his mouth. Gretel followed, tearing into the doorframe. They ate like wild animals, laughing, crying, fingers sticky, faces smeared with sugar. For a moment, they forgot the forest. They forgot their parents. They forgot everything. But something was wrong. The forest had gone completely silent. No wind, no sound, as if the entire woods was holding its breath, watching them. And then, an old woman stepped outside. Her face was wrinkled, her body weak, but her eyes were sharp, calm, and aware. She looked at the 2 children devouring her house and spoke softly.
Come inside, my dears. You must be cold and hungry.
Inside there was warmth, real food, soft beds, a fire burning gently in the hearth. For the first time since they were abandoned, they felt safe. But what felt like safety was something else. The old woman was not what the stories say. She was not a monster. She was just an old woman who had lived alone in these woods for many years. She had seen children like them before, abandoned, hungry, desperate. She knew what desperation could turn children into, so she watched them carefully, not with hunger, but with caution. She gave them food, she gave them shelter, she gave them kindness, but she did not trust them completely. And maybe she had a reason not to, because what happened next changed everything. Hansel noticed the way she watched them, the way she quietly locked her cupboards at night, the way her eyes followed their every movement. Fear slowly crept into his mind, and fear changes everything. He whispered to Gretel in the darkness,
She is going to eat us.
That one thought was enough. Now every smile looked fake. Every kind act felt dangerous. Every gentle touch felt like a cage closing around them. The truth no longer mattered. Only fear did. And fear pushed them to make a decision, one they could never take back. That night, everything changed. The old woman was resting peacefully near the fire, trusting them completely. But she was wrong. They grabbed her while she slept. She woke up in panic, confused, terrified. She tried to speak, tried to understand what was happening, but they did not listen. They dragged her toward the huge brick oven she used for baking. She screamed, not in anger, but in pure fear. She still didn't understand why. They pushed her inside. They slammed the iron door shut, and they stood there, listening, until the screaming finally stopped. When it was over, there was only silence and the smell of burning. The worst part? They felt no guilt, only relief. They took everything, food, gold, anything they could carry, and they left. When they returned home, they were welcomed as heroes. Their parents cried with joy. The village celebrated them. Everyone believed the same story, that two innocent children had defeated an evil witch. But the real truth stayed buried deep in the forest. The old woman was never the villain. She was just alone, trying to survive. And the children, they were not just victims. They became something else. Not every story is about good and evil. Sometimes the villain is just someone seen from the wrong side. And sometimes the real horror is not the witch in the woods, but what fear can turn us into. If you want more dark stories like this, subscribe now, because the next story will be even darker.